you were injured.
Yes, sir.
And it involved an IED, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's all I want to know. Don't need to think about or go into any detail about that.
Thank you.
The reason I'm saying that, it is extremely counterproductive to have people with PTSD, certainly PTSD with TBI, traumatic brain injury, to recount the details of what caused that situation. And when we're talking about TBI, traumatic brain injury, we're talking about a disruption in the normal function of the brain caused by a bump, a blow, a jolt to the head, or any kind of penetrating head injury. Now this can be from concussion from sound, it can be from actual impact with the brain. Most folks think that PTSD is and that is short for post-traumatic stress disorder, think that's a psychological situation. It's an anxiety disorder that some people develop after seeing or living through an event that caused or threatened serious harm or death. And it can cause you to have dreams, nightmares, intrusive recollections, reliving the trauma, psychological and physiological reactions to certain cues. It can be sounds or whatever. And it kind of takes you back to that moment instantly and can cause you to have panic attacks or whatever. And you tend to think of that as a psychological disorder, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's not. There's a huge neurological component to this. I want to add to the conversation Dr. Frank Lawlis. He's chairman of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board, and it just so happens that he is author of the PTSD Breakthrough, and he is the co-founder of the Lawlis PvP&P Center. And I consider Dr. Lawlis to be the leading expert on PTSD in the world today. Talk about what you think needs to happen in this situation where we're dealing with PTSD with traumatic brain injury.
Well, I think, first of all, I want to make sure that everybody understands that the brain can heal itself. And what we've discovered in the last 5 years is how to do that. And so consequently, what I want to do is step number one is do a brain map and see where the injury is, and then begin to introduce him to areas that will basically fix or what we call create a plasticity in the brain that will give him his memory back, that will give him his way of dealing with his anxiety and with his depression. And Coach Mike is basically becomes part of that team that he can meet with every day or every week or something to keep him online.
And I want to introduce Dr. Cecilia Milet. Now, Cecilia is the executive and clinical director of the CAST Treatment Center right here in Los Angeles. She works closely with Coach Mike here, Mike Bayer. Cecilia has extensive experience and skills in the development, delivery, and administration of outpatient behavioral health care services, and she is the former director of Kaiser Permanente's outpatient psychiatric department in Los Angeles. Thank you for being here today.
Glad to be here.
You and I have talked, and we've talked with Mike, and our plan, Daniel, is we want very much to go through this sequentially. We want first to fly you out of here to Dallas, Texas, to the P&P Center, and have Dr. Lawlis get very involved with evaluating and doing this brain mapping and finding out exactly what needs to go on. And then he is going to work very closely with Dr. Milet here, and then we want you to come from there, not back home, but to come see Dr. Milet at the CAST Center here and begin to work with her doing the things that she does and is so good at, and follow up with Dr. Lawlis's protocols as well. Dr. Milet, you can help him with all of this, including the anxiety, the depression, and continuing with these protocols from Dr. Lawlis, correct?
That's right, Dr. Phil. Once those parts of the brain start to come alive, we can continue the work with the neural net, which means to expand his healthy habits, to explore what maladaptive behaviors don't work anymore, and to kind of have more choices in his life.
We want to get this going for you, get your brain to start healing itself and get working back in the right direction.